Rooted in a sense of fight or flight, the INFJ mind often suffers from bouts of mind freezing. Of course, every personality type will experience a sense of mental block or temporary lapse in their memory. However, for the INFJ who often experiences anxiety in social settings, this phenomenon can certainly take its toll. So, what is it that causes the INFJ mind to draw a blank? Welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into the video, starting with number 1. When they're expected to explain their intellectual viewpoints. Quiet and reserved, there's no doubt that INFJs can often surprise people with their one-off intellectual inputs and opinions. Yet, with most of their thought forming occurring internally with a reluctance to share them with others, you can say most INFJs don't have the practice to actually back their input up with easy to understand explanations. In fact, this is one of the main reasons this introverted type prefers to keep to themselves in social settings in the first place. So, on the rare instance when they feel compelled to convey one of their deep and analytical viewpoints, they hope it will just be acknowledged and moved on from. However, when someone wants to know more, or is curious to know just how they came to their often eccentric opinion, INFJs can freeze. As a matter of fact, in addition to sometimes not knowing how to explain themselves properly, they expect to be misunderstood in the process, so they are met with a mental block that stops them from discussing further what goes on in their head. Number 2. Meeting someone they find attractive. Running into a crush or meeting someone new that you find attractive isn't always met with social ease, and that's especially the case for the more introverted personality types. Whether it's a lack of confidence, a subconscious block, or a fear of not knowing what to say, the INFJ in particular tends to find socializing much easier when they have no attraction to the individual they're conversing with. In fact, due to their extroverted sensing functions, INFJs feel the need to observe new acquaintances every little detail, from the way they talk to the facial expressions they make. All of this observing becomes much more distracting when the INFJ notices certain features they admire. In fact, it's not unusual for the anti-flirtatious INFJ to seem much more approachable and personable to everyone but their crush. This is usually because, due to their habit of mind freezing, they're more likely to give short, expressionless answers to the one they have their eye on. That is, if they don't avoid them entirely. Number 3. Performance anxiety. With high set self-expectations and brutal self-criticisms to back them up, INFJs can't stand to be caught saying or doing something that makes them seem empty-headed. In fact, because of their normally reserved and quiet nature, when the INFJ is given the space to express themselves and their abilities, they can end up putting more pressure on themselves than necessary. And while sometimes this works in their favor by saying and doing things that are well thought out, sometimes it can cause a host of unnecessary anxiety. In fact, this very anxiety can end up working in the exact opposite nature they intended, causing them to freeze and ultimately stopping them from properly communicating what they had carefully formulated in their minds. Inevitably, their fear takes over and their mind switches off. Yet, ironically, this sense of anxiety is usually entirely subconscious, meaning not only do they not feel the underlying fear arising, but they can end up freezing before they even notice their nerves are present. Number 4. Their introverted intuition is distracting them. With a vast and vivid internal world, INFJs can easily become preoccupied. Whether it's in the process of being expected to be present or not, this imaginative type can slip into their fantasy world of whys, what-ifs, and potential future scenarios that they draw a blank when it comes to the real world found outside of them. In fact, this natural habit of focusing their mental energy on insights and theories can end up. One INFJ Redditor had the perfect description of their experience, saying, "Having introverted intuition as a dominant function feels like you are stuck between two realms and one being physical and the other non-physical, which can be seriously distracting. And so, if someone were to interrupt one of their deep dives into this non-physical realm, it can take them a moment of grounding themselves back into the physical. And while the wheels may be turning, from the outside looking in, it can seem like they're in complete brain freeze mode. Number 5. They're distracted by something external. Similar to situations such as running into an old crush, INFJs can easily become as distracted by external observations as they can be with their internal imaginative process. For example, when the INFJ is in a group social setting and someone is constantly being talked over and unable to get a word in, an INFJ can become completely fixated on that one person. Due to their secondary cognitive function, extroverted feeling, someone's hurt, ignored, or belittled feelings speak the loudest to the INFJ. Due to this cognitive function, this empathetic type can't help but to absorb and experience the feelings of those around them. In fact, in these moments, INFJs literally can't help but tune into how that individual must be feeling, completely ignoring what is actually being discussed amongst the conversation. This can cause serious mental blockage when it comes to their turn to give some input. They may even intentionally speak for that individual or intentionally ask them a question in order to put this distraction at rest. Number 6. Gruesome grip stress. When people are stressed, it's fair for their normal cognitive functions to get all out of whack. During prolonged periods of fight or flight, we begin to rely on other cognitive functions to help us through problem solving. Whether it's due to burnout from taking on too much in their day-to-day lives or feeling stuck with an issue that's pressing on their mind, INFJs can easily fall into this grip stress frame of mind. This grip stress refers to the grip of their inferior function, extroverted sensing. This least dominant and least developed function normally serves its purpose by allowing them to tune into the world around them, grounding the INFJ from their focus on their internal world. Not only does this temporarily focused utilization of this function cause them to become uncharacteristically less empathetic and more focused on indulgence and sensory pleasures, but it can make them feel like their brain has turned into complete mush. This harsh experience can feel like a never-ending mind freeze, where they can't process the functions they normally rely on, which for the imaginative INFJ can feel like they completely lose their sense of self. Number 7. Their conflict-avoidant nature. Fight, flight, or in the INFJ's case, freeze. Most people with this personality type know the exact struggle that comes with being caught in the center of conflict. And if you're not an INFJ yourself, let's just say it's considered one of the most uncomfortable experiences this type can undergo. Due to their ability to see every situation from all angles, combined with their extroverted feeling that allows them to fairly take every individual's feelings into account, any sense of conflict can cause the INFJ to want to crawl out of their skin. Whether they're seen as the mediator between two groups or individuals, or worse, they themselves are one of the opponents, INFJs tend to shut down no matter how strongly they feel their point is worth fighting for. INFJs are all about calm, efficient, and understanding debates, discussions that allow both individuals to feel heard, with a back and forth that allows them to think consciously rather than reactively. So, when they're stuck in a heated dispute or arguing, the INFJ's once present logic and defense can quickly become quitted by their overtaking discomfort, causing them to unavoidably freeze. Number 8. Expected to be completely structured. Creativity and innovation are inevitable when it comes to the INFJ's innate working style. To feel honestly fulfilled in their workspace and hobbies, there must be room for flexibility when it comes to communication and completing certain tasks. And so, when they find themselves stuck in a tedious job with recurring tasks, micromanaging, and no room to express their inventive capabilities, a dull, mind-numbing mentality will soon take over. As a matter of fact, this mindlessness can begin draining them of their mental energy to the point of feeling rather colorless in their own life. They may begin to adopt this uncreative mindset for the things they once enjoyed, causing them to slip into a rather depressive and dissatisfied morale. This type of mind freeze can be especially torturous, as the INFJ can never truly be happy without some sort of creative outlet. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, have you experienced any of these mind-freezing phenomena as an INFJ type? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video.